Well, listen, office politics, right? You might hate it, you might avoid it, but here's the truth. You can't escape it. And if you don't learn how to handle it, well, you might just be the one getting paid. So let me ask you this. Have you ever missed out on a promotion even though you were the most qualified? Have you ever had a colleague you thought was a friend stab you in the back? Have you ever found yourself fighting for resources only to lose to the department that's better at playing the game? This is office politics at work. And if you don't learn how to navigate it, your entire career is going to be an uphill battle. So today, I'm going to show you how to master office politics without selling your soul. You're going to learn how to protect yourself, how to build influence and get ahead without the turf wars, without the scheming or the endless power plays. So let's get into it. Welcome back, Cam fam. I'm Warwick Brown, your favorite Cam coach. And if you want to grow client revenue, retain more customers, and build a successful career in key account management, you are in the right place. Now, with the introduction out of the way, let's get one thing straight. Office politics isn't just gossip, manipulation, or, cliques. It's how power, influence, and decisions actually work inside a company. In fact, 60% of employees say that office politics directly impacts their career growth. That means the people who play the game well move up the ladder faster, and the ones who avoid it, they get left behind. So what does office politics really look like? Let me break it down. Decisions get made before the meeting ever happens. Opportunities go to the most connected person, not the most qualified. And a handful of people are always in the know while everyone else scrambles to catch up. So here's the hard truth. You can be the hardest worker in the room. You can deliver results day in and day out. But if you ignore office politics, none of that guarantees success. I made that mistake myself. I thought doing a great job was enough, and it really wasn't. And that's exactly why we're here, to make sure that you learn from my mistakes, right? And that you don't just survive office politics, but you actually use them to your advantage. Let's talk about who holds the real power, because power isn't just about job titles. It's also about influence. I once had someone who reported to me, made it his business to become best friends with the general manager, who was 2 levels above me. Well, good luck to him, but this is how it played out. We were at a work conference one year, and guess what? He got invited to a secret dinner with the GM and the sales team, and the next morning he was so hungover that he didn't show up to the working sessions until around midday. Now, I was fuming, but what could I say? He had all the right people on his side. So after that, he undermined me constantly, ignoring tasks he didn't want to do, pushing back on anything I asked, and I had no leverage to stop it. But if I had played the political game better, if I had maybe been at that dinner too, or at least if I'd have built up enough leadership support to discipline him without worrying about him running to his new allies, things might have played out a bit differently. So let's talk about 6 different types of office politicians and how you can handle them. So number 1 is the gossip hound. Now, they thrive on drama and rumor, and they love stirring the pot. So the solution here is to keep the conversations strictly professional. Never give them fuel, because they will set it alight. Number 2 is the backstabber. We've all come across them, right? They smile to your face, but they will undermine you the second you walk away. The solution here is to keep records. You want to copy key people in emails, and you want to document every decision. Make sure that nothing is done just by phone. You've got to have a paper trail too. Number 3 is the turf warrior. Now, they see you as a threat to their territory, especially in cross-functional teams like a sales versus key account management, or operations versus service. So the solution here is to show them how helping you benefits them. You kind of want to turn competition into collaboration. The 4th is the credit thief. They're the kind that take your ideas and pass them off as their own, or at least certainly don't give you the credit. The solution here is to really start to claim your wins publicly. Present your work in meetings instead of relying on email. Make sure that you are, known as a person that originated the ideas, etc. And then you've got the resource hoarder. Number 5, they grab more than their fair share, whether it's budget, headcount, or time. The solution here is to build a strong business case early so that leadership backs your requests. And finally, number 6 is the power broker. They might not have the biggest title, but trust me, the influence they have on key decisions behind the scenes is immense. So here you want to build a relationship with them. These people can be your biggest roadblock or your biggest ally. So let's talk about next how to build your internal network so that instead of fighting office politics, you can use them to your advantage. It's more like career insurance. That's how I like to think of it. Your internal network is what makes things easier, faster, less stressful. When you have strong relationships, people respond to your emails, they prioritize your requests, they advocate for you even when you're not in the room. So here are 4 strategies I think will help you build genuine influence without being like a suck up, Nobody likes those. So number 1 is you've got to invest before you need it. Most people only network when they want something, but by then it is way too late. So start now. Think about all the people that, have touch points in the way that you need to get things done, and meet them, talk to them, show interest, find ways to collaborate before you need their help. Number 2 is to make deposits before withdrawals. Think of that relationship like a bank account. You can't make a withdrawal. You can't ask for something until you give something. So your solution here, offer help, share insights, connect people with resources, before you ever get around to asking for something. Align with the power players. Remember those power brokers I talked about? These are the people who influence decisions, even if they don't have a big title. So get to know them, offer value, ask for insights, and build trust over time. Now, I once worked with a GM. He was practically antisocial, right? He never said hello. He picked an office at the furthest corner of the building, and he even took the back stairs at the end of the day to avoid running into people on his way out. At first, I kind of resented it. I was like, you're the GM. You should be making more of an effort. But he was distant, unapproachable, and completely unpredictable. You never knew what he was working on. In fact, you never even knew if he was in the office that day because it was so kind of locked away. But here's what I realized, right? You couldn't build a relationship with him by accident. You had to be intentional. So, instead of stewing about it, I made the first move. He had some expertise in mergers and acquisitions. So when one of my clients got bought out and I struggled to connect with the new stakeholders, I turned to him for advice. Now, it wasn't a formal meeting. I just quickly knocked on his door and said, hey, have you got 5 minutes today? Wasn't meaning right away, but I wanted to get his opinion on something. And he said, hey, look, take a seat, Warwick. And he gave me some really solid advice. And more importantly, I could tell he was really pleased that I'd asked. So, one small step for me, but a giant leap in our relationship. So the lesson, don't wait for the power players to come to you. Make the effort, show respect for their expertise, and open the door to real conversations. Here's what I want you to do. Make a list of 5 people you should build a stronger relationship with. Think power brokers, key influencers, decision makers, etc. And reach out this week. No agenda, just a check-in. A simple, hey, let's grab a coffee works wonders. It really does. And look for small ways to offer value before you ever ask for a favor. Because when people know you, they like and they trust you, office politics really does stop being a battle. So let's talk about now how to stay neutral in conflicts and avoid getting caught up in the drama. Now, here's the thing about office politics. Part of playing the game is sometimes knowing when to not play at all. That's why they sometimes say, don't respond to an email, until the next day if you're fired up, because you can sometimes say things that you really shouldn't out loud. So here are the 3 rules I have of staying neutral, but without being a doormat. Don't pick a side unless you have to. Just because 2 people are at war that you're working with or that doesn't mean you have to enlist. So if a conflict doesn't involve you, stay out of it. And if you must engage, if you put on the spot, focus on the facts, not the emotions. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that even though I have opinions, I don't have to share my 2 cents really unless it directly affects me. Number 2 is to diffuse instead of escalate. When those buttons get pushed, and they will, the worst thing you can do is take the bait. So when someone tries to drag you into drama or start drama, you can say things like, look, I can see both sides. So what's the best way forward? Or sounds like there's some frustration here. How do we fix this? The third is to be the bridge, not the battleground. Now, key account managers work across multiple teams, which means you're often stuck in the middle of competing priorities and egos, right? So if you tell one person you're right and then you turn around and agree with their opponent, you're not solving the problem, you're making it worse. So you can't sit on the fence, right? You either take a stand or stay out of it. So instead of fueling the fire, be the person who finds common ground and puts it out. So wrapping this up, recognize when a fight isn't yours, right? Do not get pulled in if it doesn't impact your work. I can't stress this enough. I think I alienated so many people by chiming in when it really had nothing to do with me. When tensions rise, be the problem solver, not the firefighter, right? Focus on solutions, not sides. Keep your emotions in check. Don't let other people's stress become your problem. So how do you use office politics the right way? Here are 3 ways that work for me. First is to control your narrative. If you don't talk about your work, well, don't assume other people are going to notice it. So make sure you share your wins strategically. You drop updates in team meetings. You loop in leadership when your projects succeed. And you make sure people know your impact because you're doing good work. Number 2 is to advocate for others, not just yourself. The more you help others win, the more influence you gain. So don't be afraid to lift people up, support your colleagues, give credit where it's due, and build a reputation as someone people want in their corner. Because when you lift others up, they'll lift you up too. And the third is to play the long game. Office politics isn't just about today's wins. You want to build long-term influence, right? So instead of just focusing on quick career moves, invest in relationships and credibility over time. Be known for something, whether it's problem solving, innovation, or client retention. Build a reputation that helps decision makers trust you or makes decision makers trust you. Leave them with no choice and stay consistent. Don't be the person who's helpful one day and impossible to reach the next. People notice. Be real, be strategic, and when it's time to play the game, play smart. So by now, I hope I've convinced you that office politics isn't all bad, but also that you can't opt out of it, right? The only question now is whether you're playing that game well. What I want you to also remember is you get to set the rules. You decide how you want to play. That's the most important part. So here are 3 mindset shifts for playing the long game when it comes to office politics. The first is to be aware, but not paranoid. Not everything is a conspiracy against you, even if, sometimes it might feel like that, but also not everything is fair either. Sure, people have ulterior motives, including you, and that's okay. It's part of life, as long as they're not destructive. So just stay sharp and grounded. Number 2 is influence over manipulation. Now, there is a big difference between playing smart and playing dirty. Cheap shots, they're easy, right? But you're not going to, because influence doesn't have to be built on shady foundations. You can rise above the drama, you can build trust, you can advocate for others, and you can focus on long-term credibility, not short-term wins. Your reputation will thank you. And number 3 is to not react. Office politics will frustrate you. Some days you'll feel overlooked, undermined, or just fed up. Take a deep breath before you react. Not every slight needs a response, and not every battle needs to be fought today. Give yourself space to process, then respond strategically, not emotionally. So play your way. Here's how you do it. Define your boundaries, right? What's fair game for you and what isn't. Know where those lines in the sand are, and start applying these strategies one at a time. Small moves lead to big shifts. And commit to responding, not reacting. Inside the CAM Club, I run one-on-one coaching sessions every Tuesday and Wednesday where we can unpack your specific challenges, so you're not guessing what your next move is. We can create a step-by-step plan to handle office politics strategically and make sure you're playing the game in a way that works for you. And that's just one part of the CAM Club. You'll also get workshops, tutorials, courses on key account management. You'll get playbooks, templates, and tools to make your job easier, and a private community of key account managers who get what you're going through. The best part? It is only $24.99 a month, even less if you go for the annual plan. So if you're ready to stop struggling alone and start building a real strategy, check out the CAM Club. The link is in the description. So let's make office politics work for you, not against you, okay? If this video helped you, hit like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let me know what's the worst office politics situation you've dealt with. I've bared my soul today. I've shared a few of them with you. I'd love to hear your stories as well. And if you want more real-world key account management strategies, then watch this next. How to deal with another key account manager's mess at work. Because sometimes, it's not your mistakes, but you're still the one that's got to clean them up. So until next time, I've been your favorite CAM coach, Warwick Brown, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye.